Hey, welcome to the Explainer. Today we're going to tackle one of the most powerful tools out there for anyone who creates digital projects, Git and GitHub. We're going to break it all down nice and simple.
All right, let's kick things off with a problem that I know you've faced. I mean, we all have. It's that moment of pure panic when you're just trying to keep track of all the different versions of your project.
I mean, come on, does this look painfully familiar? It is so easy to get completely lost in a mess of files like this, right? You have no idea which one is actually the latest or what you changed between final_v2 and final_ for real this time.
So yeah, this chaos, this whole file naming nightmare, it's the exact problem that a super powerful tool was designed to solve. It's all about bringing some sanity back to the creative process.
And that's where this idea of a version control system, or a VCS, comes in. The best way to think about it, it's basically a time machine for your project. It doesn't just save your file, it saves the entire history of your file, one snapshot at a time.
I love this analogy because it just clicks. You can experiment, you can try out new ideas, you can even completely mess things up, all while knowing that you can just rewind and go back to any previous version of your project, perfectly safe and sound.
Okay, so what is this, magical tool? Well, it's called Git, and you can think of it as the actual engine that's powering your project's time machine. Okay, and this is super important to get right from the get-go. Git is the software itself. It's a program you install and run locally on your own computer, and its whole job is to manage the history of your project files.
Right, so how do you actually get Git to, do its thing? Well, it all boils down to a few core commands.
First up, you've got git init. That's literally you standing in your project folder and telling Git, hey, start tracking everything in here. And from that moment on, Git status becomes your absolute best friend. It's your dashboard, always ready to tell you what's changed, what's new, and what needs to be saved.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Git doesn't just save everything all at once. It has this cool two-step process. Before you save anything for good, you put it in a sort of middle ground, a staging area. And this gives you incredible control over exactly what you save and when you save it.
And here's a brilliant way to wrap your head around this. Using git add, that's like you deciding, you know what, I'm going to learn guitar. You're staging the idea. But git commit, that's the real promise. That's you committing to it, logging it forever in your project's history, and, this is key, leaving a little note explaining why you made that change.
Okay, now this next idea, this is where Git goes from just being a cool history tracker to an absolute powerhouse for teamwork and, safe experimentation. We're talking about branches.
And you're going to love this analogy. Think about the show Loki. Your main project, that's the sacred timeline. It's stable, it works. But what if you want to try out a risky new feature? Well, you create a branch, a parallel reality where you can go wild. If it works, great, you merge it back in. If it breaks, you just get rid of that timeline and the original is completely untouched. It's awesome.
So let's actually see what this looks like. Imagine this is your main project, usually called the master or main branch. It's just a straight line, representing the stable, working version of your code, and you've already finished feature A and feature B. Okay, but now, watch this. You create a new dev branch, and bam, it splits off from that main timeline. Now you're in this totally isolated space where you can build your new experiment. Any bugs, any problems you create here have zero effect on that stable master branch until you say so.
Okay, so if Git is this tool that lives on your computer, managing your local project, that leaves a pretty big question, right? Where do other people, where does the cloud, where does collaboration come into play?
And this right here, this is probably the biggest point of confusion for beginners, so let's clear it up. Git is the tool. GitHub is the website, the service. The best analogy is this. Git is like Microsoft Word on your computer for writing a document. GitHub is like Google Docs, where you upload that document to share it and work on it with other people online.
All right, let's put all the pieces together. We get Git for local stuff, GitHub for online stuff, but how does a team actually use them to get work done on a project?
Well, once you've made and saved, or committed, your changes on your own machine, you use the git push command. It does exactly what it sounds like. It pushes your changes up from your computer to the shared project that lives on GitHub, so everyone else can see your amazing work. And to get the latest work from your teammates, you guessed it, the exact opposite. You use git pull. This command reaches out to GitHub, grabs all the latest changes, and pulls them down to your computer, so you're always up to date.
And this is the loop. This is the rhythm of how modern software and so many other projects get built. You pull down the latest version, you make a safe branch to do your own thing, you add and commit your work, and then you push it back up for the team. This push and pull cycle is what allows huge teams to build incredible things together.
So let's do a quick recap. What are the big things to remember? 1. Git is your personal time machine. 2. Add and commit is that crucial two-step save. 3. Branches are your secret weapon for safe experiments. And 4. GitHub is the online home where all the teamwork happens.
Look, at the end of the day, getting a handle on these tools is about making a huge shift. It's about going from that chaotic mess of files we saw at the beginning to clarity. It's about moving from working all by yourself to collaborating in a really powerful way with a team.
And please remember, this is not just for coders. It's for writers, designers, researchers, really anyone who creates things and wants to do it better. So the only question left is, when are you going to start your next project on Git?